I'm just checking the fermenter, and everything in it is quite dry, so I need a towel in there. I need this towel underneath taken out of the way. Whew. It's getting too dry, even though it just fogged the camera up. That's because I've been spraying water in there. These legeros that I cured between layers of paper, I've just had them in a bag now for the last week, and they smell amazing. And they've coloured really well. So all I'm doing is just opening them up to the air a little bit so that they can dry out a wee bit, and then just purge some of the ammonia if there is any. These probably got a good 3 or 4 weeks to go. These will make amazing fillers. These are burly wrappers. I stacked them and then rolled them sideways into a long wrapper just to see if there was any difference. Because I used to stove tobacco in bags anyway. So these jars, I've just been managing the moisture content inside. As you can see here, there's moisture, so I need to check it. So I'll just press pause for a minute. Well, it does not smell like tobacco, it smells like molasses. Very dark. It needs a lot more fermenting anyway. I'll just give it a sniff. Oh. No, it needs a lot more time than that. So I've just wrapped them all up. Takes up less space in the jar basically, and it keeps the air out. So just giving that an air out, let some of the steam out. Actually, I might open it up. Come on, and wipe out the water. So seal this bag up and go back into the fridge. And what I do is just to make sure that there's no air in here, because then there's no chance of mould whatsoever. Well, there is, but it's a lot less. And that way, it takes up less space. Notice the big leaves aren't in here. And the reason is because they've just been sprayed down to soak up water, because they were way too dry. And then I'm going to stand them up against the wall hopefully, and all the water is going to drain out of them. It doesn't really like to stick to dry stuff. Oh, that's crispy. Not looking too bad, but I need to be able to do it in bigger volumes than this. So I'm going to need to put another tray in, but the problem is it's going to get closer and closer to the light bulb, so I'm going to get scorching. So I think I might have to actually turn the fermenter down to 55 degrees, 50 degrees instead of 55. So I've got a mate's tobacco. He gave it to me about 6 months ago. It was last year's produce. What he's done is he's cured it, which is great. He's very, very good at curing stuff, especially in Auckland and New Zealand, where the high humidity creates like a slow death. So his problem is mould and humidity. He's probably about 500 kilometres further north than I am. So basically it's got this sour smell, and what's happened is he's cured it and then he's gone straight to the stoving process, which is where you basically roll it up into very tight sushi rolls, and then you heat it to about 55 to 60 degrees and you leave it there for about 4 days. And what that does is it creates a Maillard effect, which is like caramelizing of the sugars that are available. But what fermenting does and curing does is it loosens up the sugars so that you can ferment them out. So stoving is not fermenting. So what you should do is you should cure, then ferment, then stove. You don't jump the process of fermenting. So what I've been doing now for the last 8 days is heating this up so that the fermentation can take place again, and then I'm airing it out at the moment just by shaking it around, and I'm going to let it dry out now for maybe a day, sitting on top of my fermenter next to the fire, and I'm going to let the nitrogen and all the sour smell come out, and then I'm going to put it back into the fermenter and ferment it again, and then I'm going to dry it out and repeat and rinse and repeat and rinse until you've driven all of the nitrogen, all of the ammonia, all of the proteins. So you've got sugars and tobacco, but you've also got proteins. The cell walls of the plant need to be broken down. So I'm going to keep fermenting and giving it oxygen so that it can dry out, driving off the ammonia, and then I can recase it with some water and ferment it again. And I've been doing this now for 8 days, and it's getting beautiful. Oh, good Lord. That's a gorgeous smell. It smells like chocolate and coffee. I refuse to let this tobacco die. So I kept it for 6 months, and I thought, what can I do? And now that I've made the fermenter, I know what to do. So yeah, everything is worth saving, especially if somebody gives you something. You need to preserve it and make it right.